Today on Weekend Wankshop, we're going to be taking a look at Steve Lukather's classic solo from the Toto smash hit Rosanna, and I'll also be announcing the winner of my BHL Wizard Pick giveaway contest. Be sure to stay tuned after the lesson to see if a winner is you. Hey there guys, and welcome to a brand new installment of Weekend Wankshop. Here with your good buddy, Uncle Ben. Steve Lukather is one of the most legendary and underrated guitar players in history. Aside from his awesome work with his band Toto, that guy also played on more pop hits through the 80s and 90s than probably any other guitar player in history. Steve doesn't really suck at anything. He's got awesome tone, great vibrato, awesome phrasing, and most importantly of all, he's that kind of player that just knows exactly what the song needs and plays exactly that. And a solo in Rosanna by Toto is a perfect example of that. It's got a lot of really nice melodic phrases in there, some really sexy bends, but it also has a few, pretty cooking licks in there just to add a little bit of excitement right where the solo needs it. So this is a great one to learn to get inside of Steve's playing. But before we start picking it apart, let's hear it again at stepdad speed. And as always, for a full tab for this week's lesson, you can visit my Instagram page over at Eller Guitars. Be sure to give me a follow over there. Find the tab for this week's lesson, learn how to play it, then upload a video of yourself shredding through it along with the hashtag WeekendWankshop. Okay, solos in the key of F major. You'll want to be using a humbucker equipped guitar in the bridge position. Put you a little bit of sauce on that tone, a little studio delay sound, some distortion. You should be good to go. So the first thing Steve does here is comes in right on the root on this F note, 3rd fret D string. And I'm going to pick that 3 times. And then what I'm going to do is to play the 5th fret on the D. And then I'm going to pick the 5th fret D again and slide up to 7. And then pick the 7 again. So you got 3 Ds, your 5, then your 5 again sliding to 7. Now here's a quick little detail about this. You might have noticed after I played that last 7th fret D string note, I kind of slid down off of the note right there. This is a really subtle thing that Steve does that a lot of people overlook. The next phrase has you coming in with a slide on the 5th fret G string, and what you'll hear people do a lot of times is they'll do that last 7th fret D string note and then do the 5th fret G string slide. When I did that, there's a little gap in between those notes, and it doesn't sound like what Steve does. Basically, you can kind of look at it this way. In order to get down on the neck far enough to where he can slide into that 5th, he's kind of sliding down on that 7th D a little bit and then grabbing the G and sliding up to 5 immediately. So you get this effect where you'll hear no dead space in between the notes. You know what I mean? It's one of those things, especially if you listen to the isolated track, you can really hear. There's no gap in between those two things. So yeah, anyway, after you hit that 7th fret D string, kind of slide down off of it. And the next phrase here starts off by sliding into the 5th fret on the G string, and then you're going to play the 6 on the B string 2 times. After this, you're going to play the 5th G again, and then the 8th fret B string 2 times. So that phrase sounds like... After that last little lick there where we played the 8th fret B string 2 times, you're going to play the 6 on the B, and then play the 8 on the B again, this time with a whole step bend. Actually, it's 2 whole step bends. He picks it up, lets it down, then takes it up again. Only 1 pick stroke, though. After this, while you're still kind of holding this bend up, with your first finger free, you're going to grab the 6th fret on the high E string. This is a cool sound because basically this note is being bent up to an A, and this note you fret is a B flat. So you get this cool effect where those notes are just a half step apart from each other. And then what you're going to do is to slightly let that bend down and bend it back up a whole step again. So that was the 8th fret B string again. Again, I let it down from where it was and brought it back up. Some people leave that bend out, but it's definitely there. Let that bend down, pull off to 6, play the 7 on the G, and then on the B string play 8, 6. So that's kind of a lot of stuff that happens right there. The bend comes down, pulls off to 6, 7th G, 8th B, 6th B. Should sound like this. The next lick is probably the one that a lot of you guys tuned into this video to learn what's going on with, because I see a lot of people play this and tab it out differently. And even on some of the live versions, Steve will play this lick differently too, but I'm just going off of the original studio recorded version. It's a little run up the D blues scale, which works because that's the relative minor of F, which is what key we're in right here. And it starts off on the A string here, 10 to 12. Now, let me explain that right there, because a lot of tabs that I see have you sliding from 11 to 12 on the A string, but I don't think that's what's up. In my usual quest for truth, I went kind of obsessive on this one, and I found the isolated Rosanna lead guitar track on YouTube, which somebody awesome uploaded. It's a really, really, really cool track to listen to. You can just search here on YouTube for Rosanna guitar isolated or something like that, and you'll find it. And I brought that into Logic, and I slowed it down so I could hear exactly what's going on with the notes. And if you listen on the isolated track, you'll clearly hear that he is going 10 to 12, not 11 to 12. Check it out. Okay, so here's the isolated guitar solo track all on its own here. Here comes the lick. So it can be a little bit hard to tell what's going on right there at speed, but actually in Logic I can slow it down, and let's get it just right to where that run comes in. You hear that? It's definitely G and A, not G sharp. It's really weird though, because I swear before I heard the isolated guitar version, I also heard G sharp to A with a slide, like what most every other lesson says. But after I heard the isolated track, now whenever I listen to the original, that's all that I hear is G to A. It's really strange. So anyway, the run starts off with the 10th fret A string to 12th fret A. Same thing on the D here, 10 to 12. And then the same thing on the G, 10 to 12. Pretty straightforward stuff right here. Now this is where it starts to get a little bit different, because on the B string we're going to play this phrase. This is 9 on the B, sliding up to 10. And then I'm going to play 13. So it was a slide, then the 13. So now you should have this. And then on the B string here, you're going to play 10, 11, and 13. So that phrase so far is... And then on the high E string here, you're going to play 10, hammer 13, pull off to 10, hammer to 13. So after that last phrase on the E, you're going to pick that 13 again and give it a whole step bend. Pick it, let it down, and pick it. So that's... Then do that again. Bend, pick, let it down. And then you're going to come up on the E string here and play 15, 13, 15. Then you're going to hit the 15 again and give it a whole step bend. And then this is a cool trick. So what I did right there is I had the 15th fret high E string bent at a whole step, right? And then with my little finger, which wasn't doing the bend, I'm actually fretting the 16 on the high E while it's still bent. So you're fretting a bent note. It's pretty cool. Then go back to your held 15th fret bend, let it down, and then play 13 on the high E. I want to be really clear on that phrase right there, starting from that 15th fret high E string. We bend a step. While we're holding, we fret the next fret with our little finger. Take the little finger off, let the bend down, and then grab that 13 on the high E. Okay, once more all together. Such a cool solo. It's worth noting too that if you're having trouble getting your bends and stuff completely in tune with the album, part of that is because it sounds like that solo was double tracked, where he recorded it and then recorded, exactly the same thing over it again. A lot of times when you do that, your bends will just be accelerating at slightly different rates whenever you double track stuff. So it makes it kind of impossible to get one guitar in tune with these two, layers of guitar that are bending at slightly uneven rates. So if it sounds weird when you play along with it, that's probably why. It's a really great solo that can hopefully give you some cool ideas about phrasing and bending and all that kind of stuff. But now that we're done with the lesson, let's get on to announcing the winners of my 3rd annual Happy Wanksgiving BHL Wizard Pick Giveaway Contest. So for those of you guys who missed it, a couple weeks ago on my channel, I announced a contest to see who could come up with the coolest original solo over my song Saturdays. The winner of the contest would receive a BHL Wizard Pro as well as a set of the regular Wizard Ultim picks, and I initially planned for there to be 2 runners-up that would each receive a set of BHL Acolyte picks, which are my Wizard pick but made out of budget-friendly acrylic. But honestly, there was so much good stuff to choose from that I couldn't possibly narrow it down to 1 winner and 2 runners-up, so I expanded the contest here last minute after reviewing everything. There's going to be 1 grand prize winner and 4 runners-up that's going to receive a set of the Acolyte picks. So let's get down to them. My main man, Pitch Mew 91, you receive a set of Wizard Acolyte picks. Your solo had some really cool fusion-y stuff in there, a little bit of shreddy goodness, and I like that fancy guitar of yours. Carlos Rodriguez Noir, you, sir, receive a set of Acolyte picks for shredding your balls off. Had some really hot stuff in there. Still followed the chord changes and stuff nicely too, so excellent job, sir. Nice tone too, I like that tone. Next BHL Acolyte winner is Coda with the Hair. I really enjoyed your solo, dude. You had some really nice sass in there. It's not just about chops all the time. You gotta have that sass on the playing. And you definitely had some greasy stuff in there, so I enjoyed that very much. Some good shreddy licks in there too. Also, N64 shirt, way cool. And 1 more runner-up prize goes to Long Beaver. I really enjoyed your solo, dude. It wasn't all about ultra shreddy, ridiculous melt my face off kind of stuff. Really enjoyed yours. It was well paced. It didn't just sound like, here's this lick I came up with, then I came up with this lick, then I came up with this lick. It had a nice organic feel to it. So excellent job, super melodic solo. Great stuff, dude. And the grand prize winner that receives the BHL Wizard Pro and regular Wizard picks in Ultim goes to my man Wilco Wright. Now this was not an Instagram submission, he's not an Instagram guy, this is one that he put up on YouTube and emailed me a link to. And I'm gonna put the link to his submission down in the video description below, so be sure to check out his solo and subscribe to his channel while you're there. I really enjoyed your take on this solo section, dude, because kind of like what I was saying about Long Beaver's entry, it wasn't about cramming in the most notes or about, showing off every lick and technique that you've ever learned or anything like that. It was about following the chord changes super nicely. You outlined all those chord triads beautifully. And also had some good groove and stuff in there too. It wasn't just straight, 16th notes or anything like that. You had some good groovy phrases. And most importantly of all, it got stuck in my head. I could remember it after I listened to it a few times. And to me, that's the best thing of all whenever you're writing a solo, is can it get stuck in your head? And yours definitely did. Really excellent job. Again, guys, be sure to click on the link below and check out Wilco Wright. I'm probably saying that wrong. Be sure to check out his solo submission. Thank you so much for entering the contest. A winner is you. For all of you winners, be sure to drop me an email, benellerguitars@gmail.com, and claim your prize. Otherwise, I won't know where to send them to. So be sure to drop me an email, let me know who you are, and give me your address, and I'll start getting with Brock from BHL and getting some pics out to you guys. Lickety-split. A huge thanks goes out to everybody else who entered the contest, though. It's really cool for me to sit back and listen to, you guys playing over something that I wrote, putting down what you would like to hear over it. That was a really cool experience for me, so thank you guys so much for doing that. I'm sure that we'll do other contests like that in the future. Thanks a ton for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. You guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at BenEllerGuitars. If you're interested in booking some one-on-one Skype lessons with me, be sure to drop me an email, benellerguitars@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you as fast as I can. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to stay tuned for another sick lick next week. And remember, like Carl Verheyen said, if you like it, learn it. Cheers.